Yeah, so I decided that I got spanked super hard at Riptide and decided to focus on Sheik and Falcon, and I feel pretty good about like I've been playing like for example Azel and Guskan and who's
Hmm.
the other Assault and whatever and then but I feel pretty good about where like my answers, my soul searching answers are for Falcon, but I still think like I just want to see like what do you I just want to like this is like a progress check for me, so I'm showing you a game that I think represents kind of like when I'm in flow state at my peak,
Hmm.
at home, and I want to see like what's next, where do I need to go, because I'm trying to continue to optimize my punish game right now, and it's getting better. I feel like I'm hitting a lot harder, and I can keep up with like other top players punish games sometimes, but I want to see like what are the openings that I'm blind to. But I guess that's what I'm looking for
Hmm.
this VOD. Because I
Yeah.
here this is a VOD where I'm playing a Fox Ditto with Azel. The context is it's 12 a it's fucking 12 in the morning, and I was fiending. And so you know how it goes when you play a tippy top player. Usually, I mean, the first game he just fucking force dogged me, but then
Yeah.
something snapped and I started doing okay. So I want to see what do I need to keep doing. What should I stop doing? I have get yeah. So I guess that's all the context I can give you
Okay, that makes sense.
because I've been working on like making sure like pretty much for these past few months I've been working on my awareness, not trying to set up things that A don't get me reversals and B recognizing where when I'm in disadvantage, and I feel like that those two concepts alone you taught me has carried me so far already. It's
Nice.
just like wow,
Good.
who would have thought? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could just we'll
Yeah.
talk a bit about punish game, and then I mean, when you do drop openings that like you could have gotten or like were maybe worth thinking about, we could talk about that too.
Yeah.
Let's see, let me start streaming, and then okay, let me know when you're in the stream, and we
You
can
think
start.
oh wait, my bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay.
I this getting stuck in shine is never the feels so terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the opening. Fuck.
Yeah, but
And
it's
I
a running
failed
shine
the
on
exit.
Yoshi's.
Yeah.
It's pretty like what if you like shine on the ledge on Yoshi's, most of the time you just get like advantage state. You don't really get like a
Yeah.
combo or anything, so this is fine. I think this up air was pretty bad. Just because I think what ends up happening is since you like dashed away from this point to as
Right.
if you're like respecting ledge dash, but what happens the dichotomy is like you either respect ledge dash or you're close enough to hit tournament winner or like double jump from
I see
ledge,
what you're
right?
saying. You have to. It's an either or, and
Yeah.
if to cover tournament winner, you have to. You have to. It's, people when people cover tournament winner, it's like I know you're gonna mess up here, and I'm just calling you out on messing up this ledge thing. But I was so yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I need to
Yeah.
pick either or.
Yeah, it's about your
Okay.
spacing because if you're too far, look what happens. He's already has a shield up by the time you could like your move's already out, right?
And I'm super negative, right? There he just shield drops immediately.
Yeah, once you hit his shield like this, you just get shield drop
Like it
drilled.
like if that were Marth that would be pretty good, right?
I think so.
If I
I think
you know
against Marth, this wouldn't be like an inherently bad spot for you. It'd probably be advantageous, but I think that the way that you would play that would still be slightly
okay.
different. Because I think what I feel like would end up happening is if this were Marth and you ended up and you saw him like tournament winner. First off, a big thing is that you'd have more time to get under him because Marth is just floatier than Fox, right? And so like
Right.
the like qualities of the situation would be different. But if we had like this exact kind of timing, I feel like if you were to end up doing this, you would just like maybe like wave dash under him and just like stand
So what?
still.
So like wave dash, like the wave dash in up tilt instead would be better because I could do another up tilt if he tries to shield drop.
I think not even necessarily doing wave dash and up to it, but like just being under him directly, I think gives you like more opportunities to do like things freely
So just
because
like I'm trying to understand. Like, so should I wait? Just wait instead of trying to do this short hop up around? Just like wave dash
Oh.
under the platform and wait to see what he does. I'm trying to see like what is the
Whoa.
merit of standing under the platform?
It just lets. So the whole thing is you. It's not reactive, right? So it's not like you would see him do something and then do an action out of standing on the platform. But what it does is, if there are a few sets of actions it could do, that makes it like that are things you can actually react to. Right? But then it's like the whole dichotomy is that it gives you enough freedom to like play the situation as precisely as possible. And for the Marth, from his perspective, it's all generally unreactable. And so it's like all he sees is that you go under him. And so then you have more control and can like precisely play the mix up that you want to play. Because I feel like doing the short hop up air doesn't even actually do anything. Because it doesn't shield poke. It doesn't
won't
hit.
knock him down.
Well, it's not. It just like wouldn't even hit, right? I mean, we see the Fox shield. That upper just didn't even hit, right? And it'd be the same for Morph. And so it's like, if the upper doesn't even hit, then it's like, okay, well then it's probably not even worth going for.
So
Right.
so the answer is okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is just like do something different. Which doing something different in this case should be putting yourself directly under Marth and then playing either like I'm going to up tilt him falling into me, or I'm going to shield him doing a shield drop in me, or I'm going to do a full hop and read him like jumping
What
or
about
something.
in this in this particular position, like, so instead of the up air, if I had like, so like, what would you have done instead of this? So okay, I get the shine, right? I'm like panic. Oh, I need to wave dash back. You know, I'm in lag. He's gonna reversal me. But like, obviously that we've talked about that. What do you do instead of this running short hop up air here?
You just keep dash dancing. Because remember, the dichotomy is you're either close enough to hit tournament winner, but you get hit by ledge dash, or you're far enough away to not get hit by ledge dash, but you can't hit tournament winner.
Right. Okay.
And so once you realize that, in this case, you tournament winner, one of the things you can't hit, you just play neutral from an advantageous state, which would be center stage.
There's no
to
opening
corner.
anymore. You just got to recognize, hey, you missed your opening. Play neutral again.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Also, you had pretty bad defense. I feel like it's pretty reasonable for you to like do this up air.
CC.
Yeah, it's just it's a quick hold down. Yeah.
CC. Yeah. Just more like if there's a way to do defensive counterplay, SDI, CC, etc. Do it. Right. There's almost no reason not to.
Yeah.
Besides, like you're putting your TDI and bad. You could potentially have bad TDI if you're looking to SDI everything. But I think my TDI is okay, and I need to recognize that at this level of play, making every little thing hard is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like when there's a spot that has a specific defensive technique you need to do, you should do it. So in this case, it'd be CCing, right? But I don't think that, like, holistically you need to like, you know, when you're getting comboed, sometimes you just have to sit there and hold right on the stick, right? It's you don't need to SDI everything. It's not too big, but just be specific about when there's like times where it's like here's an explicit defensive technique that would actually meaningfully change the outcome, and then I would do it. So in like this case, you know, holding down after the up air, realizing it wouldn't or it didn't hit, it only hit its shield would be like the easy like that'd be the thing.
Free CC, and I would have been an advantage.
Yeah, you could have like CC shined and or maybe
like there was no
CC
reason
grab.
to take this trade if when I could have just had it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, good wake up shine. He read you. I do think
I need to react. I need to set a practice just like, well, what would you do there instead of? So okay, like we get the knockdown, right? We have him. He does wake up. I should have done JC grab, dash grab.
Well, I think the way it works is so off this shine initially, you could either dash preemptively because you know you're gonna hit the shine, right? You whatever. You could assume that you're gonna hit the shine, and then you know wave dash, and then see that the shine hits, and then dash forward, and then tech chase off of it. Or if you decide to like do this, where you can cover roll in, you just have to like sit there and react, right? So the dichotomy is you either get close to him and react from there, or you stay far back and cover roll in and can do something against Mistech.
Wave dash down. I mean, it put. Is it bad because it puts yourself in lag? If I were to wave dash down there to just like, right, like.
Well, I mean, here, right, if you're to dash forward instantly, you just do dash forward crouch.
Dash forward. Okay. Dash
but
forward,
you're doing that.
Then
you're doing. Alright. So it's like the dash forward's preemptive. You're dashing forward, you know the shine's hitting, and then you crouch on reaction to them missing the attack. Right. That's just a thing you can do every time.
So instead of trying to do the RTC from this distance where it's only one option, and if the opponent knows that that's how you RTC, then it's easy to cover. If I RTC like the Sheik, the Falcon, on like looking for the get up attack to then dash grab, it's just more. I should just do it. It's just something you do more, right? Like there's no reason for me to RTC at this distance if I know the shine is connecting. Is what you're saying?
Well, no. What I was trying to say is that it's like it's it's kind of an either or. It's like you can just tech chase, but if you're not gonna tech chase and you're not gonna like cover everything tech chase and you're gonna like cover an option like roll in, for example, then you should just like actually cover roll in. Because if you look at what you did here, is you gave up on covering roll in, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's the issue is that you didn't
once
like
I've committed to covering roll in, I should look for the reaction point of the roll in instead of saying fuck it and trying to cover the because I'm trying to what I'm doing here is I'm doubling down, right? I'm like, oh, he's gonna stay in place, but then he rolls in immediately and I lose the thing I was ready to cover.
Yeah, you just need to cover the thing that you set yourself up to cover.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, that's like the big thing, because it's like, if you know, I mean, this situation's a perfect example. You miss an opening where it's like, you tried to go for a read when you or you tried to go for a different thing than you initially planned for it. It goes wrong literally every single time. That's just like a fact of Melee.
So he reads my short dash dance.
Yeah,
and just does dash JC up smash.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's a ledge tech skill. Fine defense. Good. Yeah, and so here's a spot. So it's like you can do short hop up air to hit mistech like this, but it's like it's specifically for get up attack. Like you can do it on reaction to get up attack and it'll be fine. But I think that's like what the issue is kind of
else?
It covers him staying on the ground. It depends, because I think you can do it reactively and hit you can hit get up attack and him staying on the ground. And if you do it preemptively, then some timings hit neutral get up attack and staying on the ground.
God, the Fox Ditto is so intricate. This matchup is it's really fucked up, I think.
I mean, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it's such a coin flip.
Oh, yeah. It's just Fox has no range.
For all the wrong reasons.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest issue I feel like is this has been like the second time in a row where you've done like a wave shine and then done like this delayed short hop up air thing. And so I feel like that kind of means that you don't have a good plan otherwise for this combo C. Because I feel like you should, I don't think what you did is inherently wrong, but I do think there's a better thing, which is doing either dash for tech chase.
I'm not closing in the range after I get the punish properly.
Yes.
Like I need to close in the distance is what.
Yes.
Like I'm not like I'm way too far here, right? I get even though this happens to connect, it would have been way easier for me to get a juicier punish if I were just closer to him during the knockdown.
Oh. I don't know if necessarily juicier, because I think up air is technically your best hit at this percent. But the whole thing is that if we're going to lay out a combo tree in terms of value and risk meaning likelihood, I guess, it's like this up air is probably your best hit you could get right now. It's the only thing that knocks him up but doesn't put him on the platform and doesn't have any defensive techniques. You just get comboed after, right? So it's good to hit.
So it's high. It's high reward, but it's like I'm basically covering 2 out of like 6 things, right? Which is not.
Yeah, so that's like the thing, right? It's like it's high value, but it's low likelihood. But then we look at like say you doing dash forward out of the shine, right? Like we talked about initially, and then crouch tech
exactly
chasing.
When I should be reacting to dash forward. It should be.
I mean, it's just you're just wave shining, right? It's just you're doing wave shine dash. It's not like you wave shine dash against Peach, you wave shine dash against. It's the same.
You're totally right. Why am I giving Fox? You know what? It's because I'm scared of Fox on knockdown. But I shouldn't. I just don't need to be scared of Fox.
Yeah, you can just tech chase him, and it'll be completely fun. Yeah, and so it's like you see how Shine dash forward would just put you next to him, and then
Shine
you just
dash forward, and then I can CC the get up attack that he's already buffered, right?
yeah. It's like you just run up, crouch, tech chase, and obviously you'd run up preemptively and then crouch on reaction to a mistech. But that's just like tech chasing
Like
101,
half a
right?
cactuar dash is what you're saying.
I mean, you just press left on the stick. That's pretty much it. You'd press left on the stick, let go, and then be like, oh, he missed tech. I hold down.
Yeah.
Here's you missed your up smash. This is pretty like big. I feel like this is like again you got your best opener right. Nothing. Right, and then he has nothing you could do. Out of it. Yeah, but then you miss your dash up smash, and it's like, like essentially, it's like compounding where it's like you did something that was pretty low likelihood of hitting, and then you missed the thing like that.
That was high.
That was easy. That was coming afterward, and so it like completely nullified the value in itself, and so you just took a massive risk, quote unquote, for no reason.
So there's a save. That's a punish I can save state with like custom TDI or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's just hitting upper at low percent and then reacting and comboing.
JC up smash. Or reacting.
It all just depends because sometimes you want to up tilt, sometimes you want to turn on up smash, sometimes you want to let them hit the ground and tech chase, sometimes you want to hit them directly. I mean, it all depends, but yeah, you could just set this up and practice it. I feel like after you messed up, you did the thing where you like mess up and then be like, well, it's okay, I can still be engaged, but what you should really do is in spots like these is like you should just like disengage. Yeah, it's like you could do dash back full hop, you could do dash back shield, you could shield right here. And like obviously it is a mix up, and sometimes you should just be like, I'm gonna run up smash, but that's like the lowest on the priority list.
Right. The defense is the high. Like getting away and resetting to neutral is more important, especially since I'm already at an inherent disadvantage since he still has one or two hits of CC on a weak hit left. Right. He could still just like, and I can't. Right. I just can't. I'm like straight up. The dynamic changes if I even when I do reset neutral. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you reset neutral, I mean, you just play the game from there. I don't think it's like, it doesn't really matter all that much. It's just like, you have to realize this is a spot where your priorities change.
You're right.
Yeah. And you see how you immediately get punished by like trying to like stay engaged when he is like completely just actionable. It's like, okay.
Right.
Backer. Damn, you straight died. I feel like after this respawn, once you do this up tilt, you just like kind of start like indiscriminately attacking. It's like you do this up air, it's like short hop upper again, not really actually that good at pressuring the platform. It's like sometimes you get a lucky hit 1 in 100 times, but it doesn't actually do anything. And now you're in the corner, and then you do this short hop upper under him on top platform, hoping that he falls into it when it's already pretty unlikely. And it's like if he was like better, what would have happened is he literally just like sees that you're jumping below him like that, and then just does shield drop drill and actually drifts forward because there's no reason for him to drift back there. It doesn't really. You're moving towards him, right? You don't. He doesn't need to drift with you. And so it's like you just did this thing. You did like 2 things in a row that just
that were super punishable.
It's not even about it being punishable. It's about like the upper is like this upper is bad because it puts you in the corner off respawn, and so being in the corner means closer to death. Just in terms of outcome, and then this up air puts you directly into the point. Now this is one where you could have gotten you hit, right? But the other one was positioning. That's the issue. The first one, you put yourself in the corner, which is not good to do on Yoshi's because you can die, and in general. And this one is bad because you put yourself directly into his threat range when he was not doing anything, right? And so it's like that. It's important to be specific about why these things are issues because they may look, they're literally both just short hop upper. They're the exact same action, but the implications are different and how things could go wrong are different. And is that like clear?
No, that makes sense. I see what you're saying. Positioning wise, the short hop upper in the corner is terrible because I'm giving up invincibility from like respawn, and B, like it doesn't really threaten anything. Like you said, it's like 1 in 100. Maybe you get a shield poke short hop up air and you get a punish, but like the odds are that a top player is just gonna, like you said, do like shield drop, drill, grab, or whatever, something,
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. The
It
shield.
doesn't matter what the punish is. It's the fact that you can get punished in that spot.
And I mean, it also is like the likelihood of it hitting. The short hop up air is unbelievably. I feel like it's just like a plague. I don't know what happened in the Fox community, but doing short hop uppers like this just spread like wildfire, and they literally hit once every like 30 matches. It just doesn't actually do anything, and I don't know why people do it so much. But these short hop uppers like are raw RNGs, but like you have like a 20% chance of them working, and it's like there's just so they're not good. You should just play for positioning more often, and I think there are explicit times where short hop up or shield poke does work, but the big part about that is the usage of the word explicit, which means that it's clear and that there is like it is a consistent thing that makes it happen.
Understood intention as to when and why and where the short hop up air is happening.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's like it's not something to use generally. It's Cody like spammed it because he got Z jump and was like, I'm gonna try using this thing, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's a new way, but it just doesn't like work.
Yeah.
You have to be specific about it. And then what happens when all the foxes start doing short hop upper stuff is they just like throw themselves in the corner like this, and against like, you know, depending on the situation, depending on whatever, they just like end up dying, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, 1 second.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Sorry, right. You were telling me short hop up air was the wave, and don't do it unless you do it in a very explicit place. Do you want to tell me where that place is, so I know when to do it?
There are some times on Yoshi's and Stadium platforms where either someone has like explicit reason to be angling, like holding down an on platform, or like there's a few specific spots where it shield pokes. I'm not sure what the reasonings behind it are, but it's like pretty uncommon, and so it's like it doesn't like those are like the only spots where doing this short hop up actually hits is when someone has incentive to be holding down on the platform. Either they're falling from the sky and want to fall through, or like they're landing on the platform, getting up, and then want to CC a thing that you could do, right? And so it's like it just.
But the most important thing to take from what you're telling me is that I really don't do it that often.
Yeah, you should have a game plan for playing corner, because I don't think.
So what would you suggest my game plan should be then? Instead of like, so he puts himself in the corner. He's in light shield, right? I up tilt. This is like, oh, maybe he'll shield drop and back him, but like obviously that's not really doing anything. So what do you suggest I replace? What should be my game plan when I have my opponent in the corner off of respawn from invincibility?
I mean, it's important to be specific, but so we could say in this specific position, if you look at like what's happening, you're right here, he's right here in shield, and you know you're invincible, and he's like on the side platform, and so it's like, okay, well his options are to shield drop and to go to the ground, or to like shield drop, drift away, and then go to ledge, or to full hop, right? And so it's like, given all those options, what you could do is, since full hop, displaces him and it takes time to go up and then come down, something that you could do is like to preemptively cover him shield dropping by like doing maybe like a bear, maybe doing like a full hop bear in place or something. And then since he has to go up and come down, you still will have time to like deal with him full hopping. Because what happens is, if he full hops, it's like he either full hops and lands back on the platform, So it's like if you full hop at the same time, who cares?
Just stalling for time effectively, right? If you do a full hop, because it just puts you in the same place unless you drift. But
Yeah.
if he does a full hop and drifts backwards, I can catch that with my own full hop.
Yeah, and then there's the added layer of like, if he double jumps, guess what? Double jumping takes a lot of time too because he has to go up and come down. And so if you do just a full hop, it'll be like you'll hit the ground. Yep, you'll hit the ground, and he'll still be in his double jump, and you could do something to either hit him directly or to pressure him. And so that's like
Sharking. Oh my god, I keep forgetting how I know for a side note, I feel like some matchups are basically only good for Fox because the sharking ability is just so broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like the plumbers, you kind of beat them because you just shark the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And then but I you know what? I never really realized how powerful the implications of it is in the Ditto. I'm gonna try to look you're just broadening my horizons, as I like to say.
Yeah,
So,
it's really good. I think in Melee, it gets overlooked a lot because there's a lot of aspects of the game like tech skill and combos or whatever, but like positional play is really valuable, and a lot of the time it unlocks some of your best hits. Positional play in this regard would be, playing horizontally initially and then reacting to vertical things happening. And if you play horizontally, guess what? Maybe he gets bear shined in the corner and explodes instantly. Oh, good positional play. Or if he does try and hit you, you have, the center stage to go to, and you don't actually ever get hit or whatever. Like, there's a lot of outcomes that are all positive just based off your positioning alone.
So what do you think of wave dash in and wave dash out up tilt? I know people keep telling me up tilt in place is bad. You get whiff punish, but then I see Pip Squeak doing the box foxes particularly have an advantage, but it's not that hard on GCC, I guess. But wave dash in, wave dash out, up tilt instead of stand in place up turn around up tilt.
That,
so here you said position, wait, try to shark either a full hop or wait for him to So, and this is another one of those dichotomies, whereas either you wait for him to shield drop and try to cover the shield drop angle, or you look for him to full hop / double jump and shark it. You don't get to do both.
Right? You can do both. It all just kind of depends. Because the thing, it depends on. It ends up being kind of complex. I don't want to explain it in its entirety, but the complexity comes from you can do things that let you cover both technically, but the value that you get from it is lower. And so it's a good example that I want to use initially is if you do short hop, drift in back air to read shield drop, and then maybe CC after whatever, and then he does full hop or double jump, you're actionable to hit it. You're actionable to hit those things, but the amount of time you have to do it is lower, and the hit you get on him shield dropping is worse.
You're just giving yourself a less lenient punish in exchange to cover both, but it's to the degree that it's to an extreme degree, the lack of leniency.
Well, I think it ends up being more lenient, right? Because you get to hit both relative. Because the part that isn't, the situations that you'd play out that wouldn't be lenient or whatever would be I know I want him to shield drop, so I'm going to dash up smash. And that is the most restrictive one, right?
Right.
Because it only hits him shield dropping and loses everything else, right? Or it's I want to hit him double jumping.
One thing, hard covers one thing.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, where it's depending on the way you play the situation out, you can do things that let you interact with both, but the value you get from it's lower. Because if I had to sit you down and ask, which would you rather get in this position, up smash or back air, you'd probably say an up smash, right? But to hit the up smash, you'd be hitting one thing, and to hit the back air, you'd hit the thing and then have defense against other ways he could play the situation and have potential advantage, right?
The future value of your defensive options is more important than the potential gain of one. I mean, I see what there's economic value in decent offense with amazing defense, right?
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know. I feel in this position, that's not even necessarily the takeaway. I don't know if there's a large takeaway more than just explaining that there is a way, kind of implying this thing that we talked about initially, but the way you play situations change depending on how free you want it to be or how much value you want to get from it. And so If you want to max out value, you'd go for a hard read, but you'd have, you'd be the most restricted and would only generally cover one specific option. Or if you're going to do something more, unrestricted, you'd cover multiple options, but maybe the value you'd get wouldn't be proportional or whatever.
Risk reward or whatever. But
Yeah.
but it's more complicated that I can't just dismiss it as risk reward or whatever because it's.
I think it ends up being nearly 1-to-1 to risk reward in terms of like functionality, because at the end of the day, it's like you're playing, because risk reward takes into account the likelihood of things inherently, because something that happens more often generally tends to be riskier. Assuming we're talking about good characters, and so I think it being similar to risk rewards totally fine. You just have to think of it as like, there are explicit. There are details, right? There are values that change depending on the way you play the situation out.
Okay, that's a good framework to work. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really big part of Melee, right?
Yeah.
Just in general, we look at something like risk reward. Having good risk reward automatically makes you better than most Melee players, and it's that ability to judge value and like play situations out in ways that are, more consistent but still provide good value, etc., etc. And it's like, this is the same thing for this, and it's like, obviously there will be times where you go for a hard read and it is very risky, and like low likelihood to hit or whatever, but it's like, that's just the game, and it's just about the holistic approach of like, judging values.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, we can just go on. There's not much to say after. It's because he misses no cancel. After this, you just have to do full hop up air, like full hop falling up air. So instead of doing like the double jump to try and catch him going up, you just like full hop and then like do a delay up air that's falling.
Wait, can you go over that one more time?
Just do a full hop falling up air.
Just do full hop falling up air.
Like, can you see how that would hit after this first up air?
Because you get the second hit.
Yeah, it just
okay. So you do a full hop here instead of that short hop.
No, the short hop's fine. I'm talking about the double jump, the part of the combo that missed, right?
Oh, okay. I see. So
yes,
short hop, full hop, right? Instead of doing double jump. Okay.
Yeah, because you see how the double jump goes past him, right? We need something that will hit him, like, moving, like, downward, right? And so that's what happens when you do the full hop, is you full hop to reach his height, and then since he's going to be falling, you will just fall on top of him with an up air, right? Can you, like, visualize that?
And then after that full hop, it would just be another full hop, follow the DI.
It all just depends. It's hard to say specifically, because, there's so many DIs you could do, but, like, you'll just have to go from there once you see it.
But the full hop, what matters is that instead of doing the double jump you do a full hop here.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I see it. Yeah. Yeah, I should have I should have known he was going towards random.
Yeah, what you can do is like when he's this far away, that like him getting to ledge is pretty difficult, and there's Randall, you can just check the angle he does and then drop on reaction to it. Because if he does an angle that looks like he could land on Randall from like that far away, then it's like
drop.
You could just
see he's helpless.
Well, I guess he technically would be helpless, but it's more just that it's like, oh, I saw that he did this high angle. I'm gonna drop with back, drift there, and then do double jump bear to meet him somewhere here,
right?
With like a
So react to the high angle. That's your cue to drop.
Or it's not that it's high generally, because there are some high angles, like there's this high angle that goes here.
Sorry,
right?
In this specific situation.
You just look. You are reacting to an angle that could land on Randall. And if you see an angle that could land on Randall, then you can react to it and drop and hit it, right? That is like just how it goes. You can just
Yeah.
react to the angle and then be like, oh, that is a Randall angle. I am going to drop from ledge now and back air it. That was pretty not great, I think. Once you like crouch there for what's up?
My Ethernet cable slightly unplugged. My bad. I'm back.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're good. We didn't miss anything other than me saying I think you going in after that crouch was pretty bad.
Just wait, hold, stay in the crouch there.
I mean, either continue crouching or shield or like full hop, because the whole thing is that like once you decide to like wait here for long enough for him to realize that you're like crouching, then it's like you can't do something aggressive.
Right.
Because like the value of doing aggressive things is that in a lot of positions where you would want to do something aggressive, it would be unreactable, right? But since you have already given him time to see your static positioning, you can't like decide to attack, right? Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. I've committed to defense at that point.
Yeah, and so it's like at this point, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to full hop the side platform. I'm going to shield. I'm going to, maybe hold CC. That one's kind of inconsistent, but yeah, you could also hold CC. It would have worked against him. Yeah. It's similar to the thing that we talked about initially, where it's like, you have to follow up with the initial decision.
Right.
You can't be like, I'm going to be super aggressive, and then last minute, after positioning aggressively, to change to defensive. That's not how it works.
Right.
You have to you have to follow up every time. If you follow through, then it'll just go better than you doing something in the middle.
So then, furthermore, if like I should match the options, so I feel like I'm mixing and matching options wrong, and that if I like put the puzzle together, I could alternate between like both the defensive and the aggressive options in a way that makes more sense, but I'm not doing that right now, and I'm sort of failing to recognize what an aggressive option is and what a defensive option is in the moment. I don't know. That's maybe my insight.
I think. I mean, if we're gonna like define.
No, like I know what they are, but I'm saying in the moment I'm choosing to make an option that like the takeaway is that I'm like, for example, when I would stand far away and wait to cover, roll in, and then dash forward, and he would roll in. Like I chose an option, but I didn't commit and follow through. And if I had followed through, then it would have maybe been more threatening, and then I can use the aggressive tool better as a result because the threat of the defensive tool exists. I don't know.
I don't know if I would go as far to like start to like make claims on like their impact on the overall match, but I think that the takeaway is that it's like when you do something that leans into one, I guess, archetype of the game, so you could say offense and defense being these archetypes.
Right.
What happens when you do that is there are things that are like generally implicit with them, and so it's like I said initially, it's like with aggression, it is implied generally that it is like unreactable to some extent, because if aggression were reactable, they would just do the good defense to it every time. And with defense, it is implied that you're at a point where they cannot hit you unreactably, which means that some reaction is, involved. Like they and you are able to see something. And so what about this situation that makes it not good, or like using it as an example, is that, at this point, he has seen that you're crouching in that spot. And what crouching says is you are static, to some extent. And so, given that you can't now decide to be aggressive because he has already seen it, he's already seen what you've done and is now making a decision, and you like have to see that he is making a decision in response to you doing the thing defensive, which means that you're inherently at a 15 frame disadvantage. Right. And so that's why doing something aggressive just doesn't logically make sense out of a position like this where he has reacted to something that you've done defensively and is now making a decision on. Does that like logically make sense?
You can't do something regressive out of in a situation where you're in frame disadvantage. Well, I mean,
well, that's like the frame disadvantage part doesn't even like matter. The sentiment,
just disadvantage.
The sentiment, it's not even that you're disadvantaged. The sentiment is that you can't do something aggressive out of a defensive position, and you can't do something defensive out of an aggressive position, because both of them imply that if you're aggressive, you are close. If you're defensive, you are far. And if you're far away, you can't hit them, and if you're close, you can't avoid them. That is like it explained in its simplest terms, and that is true always.
It does not matter what matchup, or what player you're playing.
Yeah, it's true. Just true because threat ranges are a thing, right? Threat ranges exist.
Right? Threat ranges just no, that makes a lot of sense.
That is just all.
That is the wording I needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could. Oh, this full hop nair. I guess it hit tournament winner, but I'm not really sure why you did it so preemptively. Because if you're invincible like this and they go on the ledge, you can really just sit there and be like, is he tournament winnering? And then hit it on reaction. You don't need to like do something preemptive. But I guess it doesn't matter because it hit. But whatever.
Yeah.
And then after it hit, I think you could have had a better plan. Either like you do something preemptive after the nair to like read the in, or like once you realize that you aren't gonna like go out there and hit him like immediately after the nair, you have to play to that. And so what I think would have been good is you even like turned your back, which I think is good because you can threaten grabbing ledge. But what you should do is like turn around like this and then like drop through platform, go to ledge, or like drop past ledge and then shine stall or something, right? Like you can't at this point you can't go off and hit him because you didn't choose to do it initially. You just don't have time. And you see how at that point he was able to drift, he was able to fast fall, and now look what's happening. You're jumping, you're falling into him when he's invincible on ledge.
So I gotta recognize when I do and don't have time to do something.
Yeah.
Before it even happens. Right?
Yeah. Because like if you got a plan for this nair hitting, it's like you could be like, oh, it's a soft nair, I'm just gonna like forward smash or forward tilt after, it'll be fine. Or it's like, oh, I'm not sure how this nair is going to hit. I'm going to play more reactively. And then you realize that this is the situation, and then you play it accordingly.
Right.
And you probably should have died here, but he messed up tech skill. Because like what happens here is he does double jump, rising bear from ledge. You get hit right here, and then you just get Armada shined.
Yeah.
Right. Like you actually die instantly there if he has good tech skill. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you judged frame advantage pretty poorly after the roll. And so it's like, you see that he rolled when you're drilling, but you like didn't realize how much time that like you actually had to do a thing. And so it's like pretty clear that if you look at it, he's actionable for you. But the thing that's also important is that the spacing that you end up at. And so what happens is at this spacing, you like, I guess you both have the same like moveset, but it's like he's probably going to be doing something defensive like shining because he doesn't want to get hit. But like if you were like aware, you'd be like, oh, look at this spacing. If he tries to do anything defensive, my up smash just hits, and so you can like up smash to that spot or something, right?
Oh, just like like as a whiff punish.
Not as you. I mean, you just do it like after once you realize the situation happens. So it's like when you realize the situation happened was probably now, or like whenever you started the grab. Instead of doing the grab, if you just up smash in place.
The point is, I recognized way too late.
Well, it's not even that you recognize too late because you're doing the action now, right? It's that you didn't like realize the qualities of the situation, and the qualities of the situation where frame advantage was probably ambiguous, or maybe you were negative, maybe you're positive, but you were spaced at a point where you were like close, but outside of shine range, right? That is like the important part, is that you did not pay attention to the specific qualities. It's not about like whether you're too late or too early.
Pay attention to the specific qualities of the situation and react accordingly.
I mean, I guess generally, yeah. But in this situation, to like be as clear about it as possible, you were outside of shine range, and you could have had the awareness that he would shine to be defensive, and you could have outranged it. That is like what you could have done. You could have outranged shine here. That is like all that matters. But you did something that put you next to him, which means his shine that probably wasn't that good actually hits you. That is
Right.
that is all that matters. Combo. I guess that works out. Cool. Um, once you hit this up air, you have to.
Wave landed, right?
You should just falling up air.
Oh, falling out like the frame 22 or whatever, the one that covers both miss tech and tech away.
Yeah, whatever falling up air tech chase is like normal. Just falling up air at the timing that would hit.
What do you think of just Waveland? Hold on, can you give me like a minute? I have to get the door. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So now we have the fucking dump truck here.
All right, sorry about that.
No, you're good. Okay, let's.
People, for whatever, want my attention when I have a lesson.
It happens to the best of us. It's
Okay, so right here, falling up air instead of
you do
rising
the
up air.
yeah you do the tech chase falling up air.
Or what do you think of Waveland on the platform up tilt?
You'd be
Too slow?
so the thing about wave landing on the platform up tilt, it wouldn't hit get up attack. It'd be too slow, yeah. But it might hit tech in place, maybe. But like
just do the falling up air.
Yeah, the up tilt's not even a better hit. The up air is like almost always your best hit. Almost always. There are times when it's not, but like it is so close to always being your best hit.
Right.
And so here if you had better tech skill, since you missed the L cancel on this up air, if you didn't miss it, you could have just done like dash full hop up air and hit him up here.
Funny how that's like I missed like 4 L cancels and the 4 that mattered.
Yeah, but you got the hit anyway, so I guess we take those.
Yeah, but like the hit, I should have had the hit more under control. Like if
Yeah.
I right.
Yeah, I agree, but sometimes it'd be like that. Fast as fuck.
Yeah, he did the fucking instant power shield wave shine out of shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a little. There's no reason to wave dash down there.
Yeah, it seems like you're not controlling your movement in like these in the corner positions, and I feel like that kind of says that you don't have the concept that like time is like is important and that you don't have much time. I think you might have like a small misconception about like how much time you actually have to like do like to like set up your movement or whatever for ledge stuff. Do you think that's like accurate?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I think there are moments where I try to go too fast, and I just need to pick the right option at the right time consistently instead of trying to do it as fast as possible.
I agree generally, but in this specific position, I feel like it wasn't that you went too fast. It's that like
too slow.
You just did too many things that like
At once.
well, it's like you did too many things assuming that like you have a limited amount of time to interact with ledge, right? Because that's like that's how it is, right? When you want to interact with ledge, you only have so much time to do it because they're going to get off ledge and be actionable or be doing a thing, right? And so it's like if you want to set up against him doing stuff on ledge, you have to realize not like by literally after you like hit him that like okay, he's gonna be on ledge, I have to set up my movement. And so what you could have done is like start wave dashing back earlier, and then that would have set up a better timing or something. It's like you have to like realize that there's like an amount of time that you have like a time limit on ledge situations, so you can't do everything you want to do. Sometimes you have to be like, oh man, I don't have enough time to do a thing, so I have to exclusively escape instead of like trying to play like an aggressive mix-up or something. And I feel like here you didn't like realize, like you didn't take into account the timer that you're on, and so you do slow movements like wave dash and messing like
I need to consolidate my movement, simplify.
Yeah, I agree, simplify. Fair.
It's like with the simpler it is, the more the more intention I can find in it, right?
Yeah. I feel like you haven't gotten punished for it, but I think you're jumping too much.
Should I stay grounded more? I think that's one thing I was in my journey against Falcon. I learned that I was just just in the air too often, and maybe I need to apply that against Fox too.
Yeah, I think being in the air against Fox, it feels like being in the air is like better because you can't get like it's harder to get directly punished because Fox doesn't have the range to do it consistently. But like you putting yourself in the air, that means that there was X amount of time that you couldn't have been doing anything, meaning that like you have less control over how the next situation plays out, right? And so it's like, since you're doing a drill here and landing and going through landing lag, you could not have meaningfully changed anything about him doing that short hop drill. And it's not like you'd be doing that on reaction or whatever, but it's not like the outcome is static. And since it is static, it's like once you see your opponent, it's like how there's times where it's like once you see that your opponent like did a thing, it lets you know exactly how the situation is going to play out because things can only happen in so many ways, right? And it's like the same thing. It gives them like a basis. It gives them something to see that lets them like understand that something's happening. But when you're like dashing, for example, that doesn't actually end up happening because you didn't do anything committal, right? There's nothing that should make them think something is explicitly going to happen in that moment. But like with jumping, it's clear that once you jump, you're locked into like jump actions.
There's only so many things that you can do out of a jump.
Yeah, and so is it clear how like
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
jump a lot, it's like taking away from both your ability to do things and giving your opponent info that they
giving
probably
them
don't need.
If they have the info that this person's just gonna aerial at me, they don't have to react. They don't have to think about like 4 mix-ups.
Yeah, and I mean even like more specifically, once he sees that you do this jump, he's like, okay, there's a clear mix-up that could happen. I could either try and hit it directly, which he's not going to do. I could try and stay closer and running shot and dashing back, or I could cover my space there. And that like is extremely clear to him, and he has exactly those things that he has planned in his head to do, right? Whereas if you were say maybe dash dancing, he wouldn't have like a clear idea of what to do because there's nothing happening that would invoke that.
So dash dance to close the gap.
I think it's.
Well, okay.
I don't think we should make extrapolations from it. I think we should like really try and like look at exactly what's happening. Where it's like when you jump a lot, or you shouldn't jump a lot for those reasons, and that is like it, right? That's like all we want to take from it. Once we like, we should like if we're going to take or come to other conclusions, we should have things that specifically align with that rather than extrapolating. Because once we extrapolate, then we skip steps because there's aspects that like get missed when you extrapolate. Like if I say dash dance to get closer, which is a general claim that you probably shouldn't make, like just because it's like
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it hurts. It detracts from what you're trying to like. What I want to gain from this.
Yeah, it's like we should like think when we like come up with a thing or that we're talking about a thing. We want to like specifically engage with the thing as it is, because it's like when I say it's not good to jump a lot because it gives your opponent information. That's like, and it leaves you inactionable. That is like the only takeaway that we want to take from it. We don't want to like extrapolate and be like,
there's no reason to, I'll take it.
We should take it at face value. That's like the big thing.
For sure.
Yeah. Because there will be a situation maybe where you try to take space in the incorrect way, and maybe there's like a thing that could have, you could have done better. But right now we're only worrying about what jumping implies for like you and your opponent.
Right.
And so I feel like we look at all these positions, you're kind of jumping a lot, and you see how you like literally jumped 4 situations back to back, right? And it's like, I don't think any of these were like any more likely to hit than the last one, which I think is pretty bad because that means they're all probably not that likely to hit, right?
Right.
Now the full hop drill was more likely to hit than the other ones because full hop is like
broken.
It's just more. There's more time where it full. Yeah.
I miss a dash back grab, but not important. So the takeaway is, this jump is bad because it makes my opponent's life in terms of like reacting to things easier because they're thinking about less things.
Yeah, and obviously you should still jump, right? Yeah. Jumping's still good, but you should be specific, right? You should be like, if I'm gonna jump, I want this jump to do exactly this thing, right? And if I'm not gonna jump, I could play more generally in dash dance.
To jump, I should jump looking for this exact thing.
Yeah, and I think that's like, because I've had an issue with jumping too much too. It's like, it's easy to be like, I'm just gonna short hop drill a dash in, but it's like, it's really easy to get blown the fuck up because you do it like haphazardly.
So something exact that I'm looking to call out.
Yeah, and if you don't have that, you should play around it more generally, which would be dashing in a sense.
And if I don't have that information,
you would play the situation more generally.
The situation more generally. Dash dance.
Which would be it would be dash dancing. And it's not even about necessarily having explicit information on the screen, but it's like it goes back to kind of what we talked about before, where it's like likelihood, but in this sense it'd be confidence. So it's like, how confident are you a thing will happen, and that also changes how you'll play the situation out. And so in this case, it's like, if I'm sure something's gonna happen, I want to drill because drill is like a cleaner hit / whatever, and I'm okay with the risks it implies. But if I'm like unsure, then I do something that lets me have more defensive capabilities because I don't want to like get blown up for no reason.
For sure.
Yeah.
You've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It's another one of those. Well, at least now I can start like reducing the less intentional things I do until it's just intention.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're coming up on time, so let's just finish this match really quickly,
sure.
and then we could go over quiz. Yeah, you've missed almost every combo this game, and I think it'll be worthwhile for you to like watch this match back and like when the combos get dropped to be like, what is the exact thing I need to do to hit this combo?
Right. Just look combo for combo, or like interaction for interaction, and Uncle Punch it.
Yeah, because I think you've missed almost every important like combo starter.
You think I'll get a lot out of it?
Yes. That is how to get good at. That's how you get good at combos. Is by missing a combo and being like, I missed that combo, and then looking at what you could do and what is the best thing to do, and then practicing that thing. All
right. Well, that was a great lesson. I honestly, every time I have a lesson with you, you always blow my mind. Hey, you should stop doing this one thing because, and then I'm like, wait, but, huh? And then you're like, but do this and it's good. And then I'm like, yeah.
I'm glad you found it useful.
Yeah, and I still have another lesson, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to like push towards that next wall, and as soon as I hit that wall, we'll check in. Although I think I feel like, yeah, I just need to, yeah. All right.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Have a good rest of your night.
Yo, we'll schedule for. I think I want to do another one soon because I'm going to the big house and I'm gonna try to get a like Slippy set up for recording.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay,
so
cool.
Take it easy, man. Thanks for the lesson.
You too. I'll talk to you later.
I'll DM you some questions. I do have some questions.
Okay, that's good.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, later.